What's up, YouTube? This is G-Man coming at you. Let's see here, from my car. I just got this nifty little book, dropped it, and it is a book on the Constitution of the United States. The quote on the page says, "Its only keepers, the people." George Washington. Quote by George Washington. Now I'm going to read this whole book. I'm going to read the whole Constitution. It has the Declaration of Independence. It's got an index. It's got quotes upon quotes upon quotes. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to dedicate this to my nieces, Karis Fleming and Alexis Phillips, and also my sister, Stephanie Phillips, and my mom, Roberta Phillips, and my dad, Stephen Phillips. And also I'd like to add in there my Uncle Charlie Camp, my Aunt Connie Camp, and everyone else that is relevant. This is for you. So here we go. The power under the Constitution will always be in the people. It is entrusted for certain defined purposes and for a limited period to representatives of their own choosing. And whenever it is executed contrary to their interest or not agreeable to their wishes, their servants can and undoubtedly will be recalled. George Washington. On every question of construction, let us carry ourselves back to the time when the Constitution was adopted. Recollect the spirit manifested in the debates, and instead of trying what meaning may be squeezed out of the text or invented against it, conform to the probable one in which it was passed. Thomas Jefferson. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor external controls on government would be necessary. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. That's from the Federalist Essays by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. Influence is no government. George Washington. The Constitution of the United States with Index and the Declaration of Independence. This Constitution was proofed word for word against the original Constitution housed in the archives in Washington, D.C. It is identical in spelling, capitalization, and punctuation, and is sized in accordance with one produced by the President Thomas Jefferson. If, to please the people, we offer what we ourselves disapprove, how can we afterwards defend our work? Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The event is in the hand of God. George Washington to the Constitutional Convention delegates. Introduction. Adherence to the spirit and intent of our Constitution was so important to our founding fathers that one of the first acts of the first Congress in 1789 was to pass the verbiage for the oath of affirmation of office in compliance with the Article 6 of our Constitution. George Washington was administered the oath of affirmation of office as prescribed by Article 2, Section 1 on April 29th, 1789, to which he added, "So help me God." He then made a few brief remarks. "I shall take my present leave, but not without resorting once more to the benign parent of the human race, in humble supplication that since he has been pleased to favor the American people with opportunities for deliberating in perfect tranquility and dispositions for deciding which unparalleled unanimity on a form of government for the security of their union and the advancement of their happiness, so his divine blessing may be equally conspicuous in the enlarged views, the temperate consultations, and the wise measures on which the success of this government must depend. Sadly, with the passing of time, the oath or affirmation of office has become perfunctory. It has lost its meaning to many of our elected leaders. It is hoped that this publication will awaken a desire within the inhabitants of the nation to restore the Constitution, the eminence given it by our founders, that we may as a nation be blessed with continued freedom, security, and happiness. Ronald M. Mann, Deputy Director. That whole quote I just read, the introduction, was from Ronald M. Mann, Deputy Director, Commissioner of the Bicentennial of the United States Constitution. So let's see here. Contents, selected quotations, U.S. Constitution, amendments, Declaration of Independence, index to the U.S. Constitution, remembering significant dates, and celebrating the Constitution, observing the hand of Providence. The adoption of the Constitution will demonstrate as visibly the finger of Providence as any possible event in the course of human I lost it. Okay, there we go. The adoption of the Constitution will demonstrate as visible the finger of Providence as any possible event in the course of human affairs can ever designate it. George Washington. I regard it, the Constitution, as the work of the purest patriots and wisest statesmen that ever existed, aided by the smiles of a benignant, gracious Providence. It almost appears a divine interposition in our behalf. Daniel Webster. I have so much faith in the general government of the world by Providence that I can hardly conceive a transaction, the framing of the Constitution, of such momentous importance to the welfare of millions, should be allowed to pass without being in some degree influenced, guided, and governed by the omnipotent and beneficent ruler in whom all inferior spirits live and move and have their being. Benjamin Franklin. So we're at 9 minutes, 28 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue reading this at another time. I'll be coming out with a part 2 later. G-Man out.